So what's at stake here in Atlanta for the Panthers? Pretty simple. If they win, they've got a first-round bye and at least a 2 seed. It's complicated, but they can also get the #1 overall seed and home field advantage, but that would take a few things to happen. If they lose and the Saints win, all of a sudden they lose that first-round bye and they'll be playing in the wild card round next week. So clearly it's big playing for a first-round bye today, and all they have to do is win against an Atlanta team that played very well against San Francisco and could have easily beaten the Niners if not for a freak play and Navarro Bowman returning an interception late in that game. Panthers won the toss. They deferred, so the Falcons will receive. And Jason Snelling will have no chance to return this one. For the final time, Tony Gonzalez will take the field as an NFL player as the Falcons get the ball first.
Well, Kevin, I'm honored to say I played against this guy, competed hard against him. I've had the great honor of broadcasting many of his games. We use the term one of the greats far too loosely. This is truly one of the greats. I think the greatest tight end this game's ever seen. He revolutionized the position.
In his 17th season, he lines up top of your screen to start things off here in Atlanta. And they're going to go to him right away. Gonzalez has his first catch and a quick 4.5-yard gain.
You got to love that by Mike Smith, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator. He's running through the gamut of emotions today. Get him that first catch, settle him down, get him back to what he's used to doing, which is catching footballs.
The thing about Gonzalez is this is not just a gimme game, a show game. He's got 79 catches this year, John. He's 15th in the league. That was number 80. I mean, he's having another great year. On second down, they hit Roddy White, and White is tackled immediately by Quentin Michael. One thing about Matt Ryan, he hasn't lost here at home against these Panthers.
Well, we were here last year. It came right down to the wire, and Matty Ice pulled one out of his pocket against the Carolina Panthers. Matt Ryan, a tremendous competitor. Key injuries around him at the wide receiver position. But he's competed hard as always and played some very good football this season.
It'll be a 3rd and 2. 4-man rush. Ryan with time. He's got a first down. Steven Jackson, room to run. And Steven Jackson out to the 45-yard line and a pickup of 17.
One of the things that Matt Ryan has done so well throughout his career is work the pocket. It's called pocket presence. He manipulates the defense by looking and pumping to the right. That leaves the huge void where Steven Jackson is nothing but grass. Tremendous execution and manipulation by Matt Ryan.
So the Falcons convert their first 3rd down up at the 45. It's the first carry to Jackson, and Jackson tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by Chase Blackburn. He'll get maybe a yard. John, this defense by Carolina, they are #1 in the league, holding opponents to under 15 points a game, and their linebackers are ridiculous.
Kevin, I watched that tape last week, and these two guys, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, I've never seen two linebackers in the same game play a better game. It was awesome to watch. They jumped off the screen at you. Excellent, complete players at the linebacker position.
That's a pretty strong statement. You said never for you. That's a game. Here's Ryan over the middle. He's got Gonzalez into Panthers territory down at the 31.
Well, this is great against great. This is Luke Kuechly working the middle of the field against Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez sneaks behind him. Matt Ryan with great anticipation throws it on time. Big gain for Matt Ryan to Tony Gonzalez.
They mark it officially as a 23-yard gain down to the 32, but a good opening drive for Atlanta. They swing it to Harry Douglas, who gets a block, and Douglas works his way down to the 26. Falcons look crisp offensively to start this game.
They really do. And you go back and watch the game that these two played earlier in the year at Carolina in week 8. Atlanta hung right with them. It was a 17-10 ball game deep into the 4th quarter, and it ended up 34-10. Everyone thinks blowout. Not at all. And Matt Ryan was extremely efficient. 20 of 27. He did throw 3 picks in that game.
Second carry for Jackson, who puts his head down and muscles forward for a couple of yards.
And that's been something that of late they've started to run it a little more. Now, running a little more for the Falcons, you got to keep that in perspective. These guys throw it more than anybody in the league. You have to achieve some balance, particularly with an offensive line that struggles like the Falcons do. They've been doing a better job of late.
Here's a 3rd and 1. Atlanta was stuffed twice on 3rd and 1 against the Niners on Monday night, giving it to Jackson both times. We'll try it again, and this time a first down and more. Steven Jackson inside the 10, and he's down to the 6. A 17-yard run, and it's 1st and goal.
Kevin, you talk about the crispness, the execution. What I see is a team that's very inspired. Tony Gonzalez addressed the team last night. The guys told me there wasn't a dry eye in this building. They're playing hard. They're executing well. As I said in the open, a tremendous sentiment to send out Tony Gonzalez in the right way, and it's shown in this first drive.
The Panthers have not allowed a touchdown on the opening possession all year.
Hey, 59! Express!
Play clock at 2. Ryan, pressure up the middle, hits Jackson, who was decked immediately, stays on his feet, and Jackson maybe loses a half-yard there. It was Thomas Davis, Mike Mitchell also on that play.
And you just saw it right there, a missed tackle by Mike Mitchell, but these guys rallied to the ball. They hustle to the football. It's something Ron Rivera, the head coach, believes in. It's something Sean McDermott, they preach, they live it each day. You see the missed tackle, but here comes the posse. They really limit the yards after contact, does this Carolina defense.
10th play of the drive. Falcons have Snelling in the backfield now. Time for Ryan. Steps up. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes. Ryan had time initially, but Frank Alexander finished up the play with the sack.
Well, Frank Alexander ends up with the sack, but it's the push up the middle, and that's really been the difference in this Carolina defense. Watch the push up the middle. It's going to come from Dwan Edwards right up in that guard center gap. Here comes Kawan short. It's Frank Alexander who finishes the play, but it's the push up the middle, and that's really been the difference in this Carolina defense.
Now 3rd and goal from the 9. Ryan looking, Snelling, he holds on. Touchdown, Atlanta. How did he hold on to that football? What a drive.
And one of the things you do with great players, Tony Gonzalez, you use them as decoys as well. You see Kuechly so focused on Tony Gonzalez as well as Thomas Davis. It leaves a huge void for Jason Snelling. Tremendous design using Tony Gonzalez as a decoy. Jason Snelling, the beneficiary. You see the focus on Tony Gonzalez. Both linebackers have their eyes on him. Matt Ryan dumps it to Jason Snelling, who does the rest for the touchdown.
His 3rd receiving touchdown of the year, and now Bryant with the extra point, up and good. Any thoughts of the Falcons laying down for the Panthers to allow them to get the number 2 seed? That just went out the window. What a drive on the opener. 7-0 Atlanta.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
First time all year the Panthers have allowed a touchdown on the opening drive. Matt Ryan was terrific. 7 of 7 for 62 yards. He hits Jason Snelling, his 3rd receiving TD. And Ron Rivera talking to Luke Kuechly, trying to figure out what just hit him with the uppercut there. That was impressive by Atlanta.
This defense, we talked about how dominant. I promise you, people, they have been. That was just tremendous execution from the Atlanta Falcons. This Carolina defense not used to it. Have to make some adjustments.
It had been the best drive all year by the Falcons. And now that one goes out of the end zone, and Carolina starts on their own 20. Tony Gonzalez, his final game, things start off well for his Falcons, up 7 early.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Now it's Cam Newton's turn as his Panthers take the field on offense for the first time today. They had a great year. And when you look at his productions in his first 3 seasons, only Dan Marino has more touchdowns. That That says a lot. Would you believe out of the 100, 2 of those were rushing for Marino? I'd have to see the tape to believe it. On the first play, Falcons defensively make a big one. Joplo Bartu with a big hit on D'Angelo Williams.
When you look at these Carolina Panthers, they've had some injuries up front, but they're anchored by their Pro Bowl center, Ryan Khalil. I think he's an all-pro, has had a fantastic season. And then a lot of role players. D'Angelo Williams this year expanded his role, also getting involved in the pass game. Mike Tolbert, their Swiss Army knife, he does a little bit of everything for the Carolina Panthers.
2nd and 10. We told you earlier with Aaron Andrews, Steve Smith not playing today with an knee sprain. Newton in trouble. Worlow on the blitz. Nails Newton. Incomplete. Oh, these Falcons are fired up today. And a 3rd and 10 is coming up.
Well, it appears as if it was a false start, but Worlow's going to loop around, come through, and there he goes right through D'Angelo Williams. Throws D'Angelo Williams out of the way, and then puts it on Cam Newton, and his arm is moving forward. Good call by John Perry, the referee, on the incomplete pass.
Pretty impressive strength by Newton to have the arm moving forward as he's getting drilled. And now a 3rd down and 10. The Panthers only 30% on 3rd down the last few weeks, and Atlanta maybe thinking about challenging. I see the red flag from Mike Smith. Now John Perry going over to have a discussion.
Atlanta has challenged the previous play of an incomplete pass or a fumble with clear recovery. We'll review the play.
I don't think that one's going to be reversed. Mike Smith challenging. They'll take a look. We'll be back to Atlanta.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by your next truck, Ford F-150. By State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been confirmed as an incomplete pass. Atlanta will be charged their first team timeout.
Yeah, I think Mike Smith was trying to ride the emotion there, John. I don't know what he saw on this.
Well, he sees Worlow come in, but the hand clearly is going forward by Cam Newton. And I think Mike Smith, after the challenge, figured out it wasn't such a good one. Kind of had the gas face there.
The gas face. A 3rd base reference in the 1st quarter. And so now a 3rd and 10 after that ruling for the Panthers on their opening possession.
Here's what Mike Nolan likes to do. Throw everybody up there. Try to confuse the protection.
Panthers have Tolbert in the backfield, and Newton against the pressure. Throws in the face of it. LaFell can't haul it in. Incomplete. Panthers will punt it away.
Actually, a great job by the front of the Carolina Panthers to pick up the pressure. One guy coming free. He's unaccounted for. Cam Newton does a great job of getting rid of the ball and finds a favorable matchup. He's got Brandon LaFell, a wide receiver, working against Massaquoi, a defensive end, kind of playing that role that Croy Bierman used to in the middle of the field.
Brad Nordman, who had a tremendous game punting against the Saints in the rain, 5th in the NFL in net average this year. Here's Robert McClain with room to run. Up to the 35. McClain tackled shy of midfield, but a good return for the Falcons. A 55-yard punt, 23 on the return. Not a good start for these Panthers. Looking for a first-round bye. It's the Falcons in front.
You talk about a favorable matchup. Watch these two. Massaquoi, defensive end, trying to cover Brandon LaFell. Cam Newton puts it on the money. There you see the loss of Steve Smith. Steve Smith likely catches that ball and goes to the house.
2nd possession, Atlanta at their own 48. Pressure on Ryan. In trouble, and down he goes. These Panthers so good with the pressure. Greg Hardy, who just got selected to his first Pro Bowl with his 12th sack of the year, a new career high.
Here's Greg Hardy. He's going to be working against Tony Gonzalez. And Tony Gonzalez, as great as he is, that's a mismatch right there. Greg Hardy, 3 sacks against the New Orleans Saints last year. He's going to be a wealthy man this offseason because his contract's up, and he is playing phenomenal football.
Panthers came into this one 2nd in the NFL with 51 sacks already now, 2 today.
Chevy, you're trying. Come on, 59. Express.
Second and 13. Ryan looking for Jackson, who leaks out and makes a nice cut to get across the 49, 3rd and long.
Another example of this Carolina Panther defense turning and running to the football. You'll see it often, very similar to the defense that I played in Tampa. Ron Rivera coached under Lovie Smith in Chicago. It's something they preach every day, and it shows up on film. When you run to the football, good things happen. Everybody, including their D linemen, do it for the Carolina Panthers.
Matt Ryan has started this game 8 for 8 for 67 yards and a touchdown. Four-man rush over the middle. Roddy White can't haul it in. Incomplete. And Atlanta will punt it away.
Well, throw a little bit off, but Roddy White's been hot of late. But one thing you know, Kevin, when you face these Carolina Panthers, Roddy White's a courageous guy. He knows he's getting popped by Luke Kuechly. That has to affect you. You turn on the film, you watch that Saints game, you know you're going to get hit when you go across that middle. That intimidation serves these Panthers well.
And now the ever-dangerous Ted Ginn, who's 5th in the league, averaging over 12 yards a punt return. Calling a fair catch on this one. The Panthers started off on their own 11. So the Panthers D does their job, and now it's Cam Newton. Playoff bye on his shoulders today. Carolina offense up next. Steve Smith looks on. He's got a sprained PCL in his knee, and he's such a horse for this team, not only production-wise, but emotional leader. Out today, and the Panthers are hoping for the playoffs he'll be just fine. Playing without him, though, today. And Newton will dump one over the middle to his tight end, Greg Olsen, who's up to the 19 and a good gain of 8 on 1st down. John, this Falcons defense has had their issues, and most of all, they're young.
They are extremely young, but one area where they need to get better is up front. They have underperformed here. They've played young guys, some young guys coming on. You talk about youth. Warlow and Bartu over 600 snaps. Mike Smith said if you told me before the season they played 60, I'd be surprised. And Trufant and Alford, they found 2 future studs at the corner position this year in Atlanta.
Panthers go with the eye on 2nd and 2. It's D'Angelo Williams. And Williams going to be strung up to the outside. Parade Jerry with the tackle to gain of 1. Well, you know Steve Smith, John. He's been around a long time. 5-time Pro Bowler, 7 1,000-yard seasons. And this is a guy, you need this game to get a bye today, but you really need him for the playoffs.
Absolutely. The bye, I think, is as important as anything. It obviously gets you 1 week closer to the Super Bowl. But the opportunity to get Steve Smith more healthy.
Panthers just going to sneak it with the big body of Cam Newton, and he's got a 1st down. So the first down behind the Pro Bowl center, Ryan Khalil.
You know, one of the things, Kevin, that can often happen is that possibly not having Steve Smith in a game like this could be a valuable thing for Cam Newton. Sometimes there's pressure when you have a true #1 and a vocal guy, an emotional guy like Steve Smith. Give me the ball, give me the ball. Well, now he can get back, read coverage, find Ginn, find Olsen, find Dominic Hickson, and really spread the ball. We'll see if that materializes today.
It's Williams, and Williams is dropped for a loss. Parade Jerry again makes the play. Now, there were times last week, John, on Monday night against the Niners where this Falcon team had 6 rookies on the field defensively at once, and Mike Smith said, hey, they are kind of in an evaluation period.
Well, they are, and they also are in a period of, they got a coordinator in Mike Nolan who's a big scheme guy. He likes carrying an enormous volume of defenses. You can't do it when you're playing young guys. Their ability to out-scheme people has been vastly reduced with the youth that they've had to play with this season.
Newton has time unloading for LaFell. Little high and incomplete. 3rd and long.
And that's something. Cam's had a tremendous season. He's winning football games, but one thing that's consistent with him, his misses are high. And it goes back to, you talk to his quarterback coach, Ken Dorsey, to Mike Shula, his offensive coordinator. It's the transfer of weight. Oftentimes he doesn't get to that front side quickly enough. It's something he works on often, but shows up consistently.
Panthers on third down. You look at it, they've been terrific. Fourth in the league at 44%, but this is a long one. 3rd and 11. Time for Newton. Now pressure going to step up and run. Tripped up from behind. I think it was Yuman Yura. Got the shoelace, and the Panthers will have to punt it away.
Well, Kevin, I don't know if it's the inspiration of Tony Gonzalez. You see Yuman Yura coming off the top of your screen, and then tremendous pursuit. But everything that you haven't seen from the Atlanta Falcons, getting beat at the line of scrimmage up front, you're seeing today. They've come out, they're inspired, and they're winning the battle up front. They're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, something they haven't done all season.
Nortman to punt it away. McLean had a 23-yard return last time. This one's also returnable. And he stays on his feet, but is hit up shy by Chase Blackburn at about the 34-yard line, and Tony Gonzalez will take the field for the 3rd time on offense. Falcons defense doing the job so far. They're up 7-0 here in the 1st. Friday, one of the best bowl games of the year on Fox. 13th ranked Oklahoma State taking on James Franklin and the 8th ranked Missouri Tigers. The AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. It's Friday at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox.
Be a fun one, Kevin, right there. Old Big 8 matchup.
It's an Artie Kempner special. Our director, Pete Machesko, our producer, Ron Rivera, head coach of the Carolina Panthers in his 3rd season. He's turned things around for sure. Turned this team into a playoff team. And the Falcons with a short game trying to hand off to Snelling. Frank Alexander was there. Falcons playing without Jacquizz Rodgers today, John. He's suffered a concussion in that San Francisco game, so Snelling and Jackson will be the guys today. And of course, as you see, number 88, the final time today. 2 catches on that first drive for Gonzalez, 28 yards, and a 2nd and 8. And we get a flag. Someone on Atlanta moved.
False start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So, John, who are these Carolina Panthers when you take a look at their season, where they are right now? Well, it didn't start off so well. They lost 3 of their first 4. They turned it over. They blew leads. Talks to Coach Ron Rivera being let go, and then it all changed.
Boy, did it ever. And you see why. You see the +10 turnover margin. They're running the football well. The defense has become dominant. They've gone from a very good defense to a dominant defense, and then all great teams do this. You establish that home dominance. The Carolina Panthers playing some tremendous football, forced to be reckoned with moving forward in the playoffs.
Ryan in trouble, and down he goes again. The 3rd sack of the game for this vicious pass rush, and it's Star Lotulelei with the sack, the rookie.
Now, I talked about it earlier. You talk about a reason for the improvement up front, and it's this guy, Star Lotulelei. They didn't pay lip service to it. They went out and drafted him in the 1st round. They backed it up with another defensive tackle, Kawan Short, with the 2nd round. And this guy is a tremendous football player. Has been a game-changing player for this defense. Going to be a stud in this league for a long time.
14th overall pick, 3rd and 20 to Roddy White, tackled immediately by Melvin White, another rookie. Now the Carolina D has found their footing. Falcons will punt it away.
This is what this team does so well. They tackle. You're going to catch some balls, but then they're going to come up. They're going to tackle you. They're very fundamentally sound as a football team, and that goes to their practice. They practice it, they preach it, they live it, and it shows up on Sundays.
Bosher will punt. Ted Ginn waiting. 6 return touchdowns in his career. And Ginn tripped up. Antone Smith got down there in a hurry to make a nice play. A 57-yard punt, and then Smith saved what could have been a big return. It's only 9 on the return by Ginn. And so now it'll be the Panthers with 11 seconds to go in this first quarter. And John, it sure seems like Atlanta came out, the emotions of Tony Gonzalez, his final game, the crowd into it. They rode that momentum to a terrific opening drive, and I feel like the defense kind of caught that fire a little bit here.
They sure have, and you know, this is different than we've seen the Atlanta Falcons all year. They're really clicking on all cylinders. They're going to have to sustain it, though. You thought they'd have that initial surge, the sentiment to win for Tony Gonzalez. They're facing a heck of a football team in the Carolina Panthers. Can they sustain the solid effort early?
They came in 28th in the league in total defense. Fake on the run, pressure on Newton. Time to roll, and it's going to roll it on out of bounds on first down with 4 seconds left in the first quarter.
It's one of the things that Cam Newton brings to the table. Still that dual threat at the quarterback position. Can beat you with his arm and with his legs. And
now they spot the ball. The clock runs down. We played one quarter from Atlanta. And the Falcons trying to play spoiler today. They've got the 7-0 lead over the playoff-bound Panthers. Start of the second quarter, 7-0 Falcons over the Panthers. Cam Newton on offense, and it's been a great year for him. He just got selected to his second Pro Bowl. John, his numbers, though, are somewhat similar. So what's changed?
Very similar. In fact, he's a little less explosive in the passing game. But what he is, Kevin, in clutch, in the moments that matter most, he's been better, and he's been awesome. He's won football games for him. You talk to Ron Rivera, you say, what's the biggest change? And he talks about command and the huddle and all those things. He said, but more than anything, the final quarter, managing that. 4 game-winning drives this year as Cam Newton led, and it's just the maturity. We're seeing the maturation process of Cam Newton becoming a winner. He said, I've done the stats, wasn't happy. I want to win. They're winning in Carolina.
Play clock at 2 for Carolina. And now Newton will sling it for Olsen, way overthrown. Incomplete. We've got our first game break of the day. Checking in with Joe Klatt.
All right, Kevin, let's go out to Cincinnati. Baltimore needs a win and some help to get into the playoffs. But the Bengals up top. A.J. Green, 53 yards from Andy Dalton, his 11th of the season. 7-6 Bengals. Back to Atlanta. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
You know, the Bengals are intriguing. They're trying to go undefeated at home. And I have no idea what they can do in the playoffs after watching them this year. I really don't.
I know one thing. That combination right there, Dalton, A.J. Green, it's explosive.
Yeah. Haven't won a playoff game in an awful long time. It's a 3rd down and 10 for Newton. Backed up, in trouble. Newton finds a seam, and he's got a first down. How in the world did he find that hole? He'll move the chains for Carolina.
This is just phenomenal. He gets back there, tight coverage, nothing really there. He spins out. He says, nothing there. Let me try over here. And then he finally finds it, and this is what he brings to the table. The dimension. Hasn't done it as much this season, kind of keeping it in that hip pocket for the playoffs. Wanted to become more of a pocket passer. It's time to unleash it, and Cam Newton does right there.
Guess that ankle is feeling just fine. He injured the ankle against New Orleans, said it was no issue, although it looked like it was at the end of the game. There, it looked just fine. They're going to pitch it to Williams on first down. Gets tripped up from behind that time. Massaquoi made the stop. It's a gain of 4.
You know, we praised Ryan Khalil, the center. All great teams have a center, a smart center, but this guy's unique. You don't often see centers get out there and be that athletic pulling. You see him all the way out blocking a cornerback. It doesn't turn into much, but Ryan Khalil, the anchor of this Carolina offensive line, he holds them together, and magnificent athlete.
Khalil missed 11 games last year with a Liz Frank foot injury, and they missed him. On second down, Newton a lot of time airing it out deep, looking incomplete. He had a couple receivers there. Ginn was there, so was Brandon LaFell. Kind of landed in the middle of them. You know, John, you're talking about Khalil, a terrific player. You mentioned you thought you like him as an all-pro. Think back to last year. He took out a full-page ad in the Charlotte Observer, and you know, he said, look, it didn't work out, but basically said, hey, this team's going to win a Super Bowl. Maybe he was just a year early.
Yeah, a little premature. But you know what? Sometimes when a team's been down for a long time, you need someone to stand up and say, I believe. And that guy believes right there. You know, Ron Rivera, you meet with him the first couple of years, and you're saying, all right, he's transitioning into being a head coach. This year, we went in there with him. He seems like a head coach, doing a great job coaching this team.
Newton fires on third, tipped, intercepted. Intercepted by William Moore. And another high throw. And the Falcons pick up a turnover.
And this is Dominic Hickson playing because Steve Smith is out. He made the game-winning catch last week. Another high ball by Newton. High balls in this league turn into interceptions.
Atlanta football, they've got the 7-0 lead over the Panthers. Second quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
William Moore with the interception. They're looking at it as they do all the turnovers. John, Cam Newton's thrown a couple balls high, but his receivers really haven't helped him either.
No, you know, Steve Smith is so critical to this team. Guys like Dominic Hickson are going to have to step up. And you see William Moore, I believe this stands, his arm underneath. You do not see the ball hit the ground in full control by William Moore. But, you know, when you have a true number one, as Carolina does in Steve Smith, when you are missing him, you're going to feel it, and they're feeling it.
Now, granted, if Newton put that ball in the breadbasket, he could still be running. He's had a couple that could have at least been caught, and that one results in what we think will stand as an interception, the third of the year for William Moore. One thing this Falcon team hasn't done is get takeaways. Only 19
After reviewing
the
the play, the ruling on the field stands. 1st and 10. Atlanta.
There it is. John Perry with the call. Moore excited. And this Panthers offense hasn't found any kind of rhythm early on.
It's Cam Newton working with his quarterback coach, Ken Dorsey. Something the Panthers have done extremely well is protect the football.
On first down, it's Ryan going far side, and Roddy White dropped it. Don't see that often. It's the second time today, although the earlier one was a little bit behind him.
Roddy White has been on fire of late. A lot of concern. He was injured early this season. Wasn't the same Roddy White. Missed a couple of games. But in December, he, along with Julian Edelman, they're the top receiver in this league. 35 receptions in December for Roddy White coming into this game. Had 12 for 141 versus the San Francisco 49ers last week.
And don't forget, this Falcons offense has been without superstar Julio Jones since week 5. And that's pretty impossible to replace. 4-man rush. They go to Douglas this time, and he's got a catch right around the first down. And now a penalty late. It was Munnerlyn out of bounds, and they might get him for 15 yards. Ron Rivera says, come on.
You see Harry Douglas catch the football, step out of bounds, and Munnerlyn finishes him off hard. That's one of the things that comes with hustling to the football and preaching, finishing every play. Sometimes you're going to have those plays. Captain Munnerlyn got to be a little smarter. He goes out of bounds. Leave him alone.
Still discussing this one, though. I mean, it's not like he jacked him up, John. I mean, he just was trying to make sure he went out of bounds. You know, I mean, he's out. I get it.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. After the catch, personal foul, defense. Number 41, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I mean, look, that's the rule. John Parry's calling the rule. But if you're that defensive back, you can't get okey-doked and have the same bounds, can you?
Believe me, it's happened to me. You go finish, and you finish hard. I think if you're Carolina, you live with that one. You ask Captain Munnerlyn next time, let's be a little smart. You see Captain to Harry Douglas. Come on, man. How about a foul?
59!
Well, yes, it is. And the Falcons, great field position, already up 7-0 on the Carolina 30.
Hey, express! Ready to go!
Ryan looking end zone and incomplete. Darius Johnson, the intended receiver. John, this Panthers team, you led off the broadcast talking about how good their D is. They do not have an offensive system built to come back, though. This is kind of important here, even though it's only the second quarter.
It absolutely is, and it's something that this team has done all year. We talked about uncharted territory. They haven't had a first drive result in a touchdown, but how are you going to respond? Looks like they're starting to get some rhythm as a defense here of late.
That's Tony Gonzalez in motion. 2 catches today. Panthers thought screen. They go the other way to Johnson, who is tackled after a gain of 4. It was Mitchell and Munnerlyn there, and now a 3rd down.
One thing New Orleans learned last week is that screens aren't really effective against this team because they run to the football and they tackle so well. The yards after catch are really minimized and almost negated with this Panthers defense, the way the linebackers, the way they all run to the football and tackle so well.
Falcons bring Drew Davis in, had a big catch and run against San Francisco. 3rd and 6. Blitz, they get it to White, and Roddy White has a 1st down for Atlanta.
Little protection mix-up. They show the double A gap, and they get a little turn protection. That allows Addison, the defensive end, to come free, but Matt Ryan, as he does so often, gets rid of the ball so quickly it doesn't matter that they messed up on the protection. In that combination, we've seen it so much. Matt Ryan to Roddy White, 1st down.
Falcons already have scored a touchdown in the red zone, but coming in, this Panthers D was 3rd in the league there. They're terrific once you get down close. Jackson gets hit and then moves forward for gain of 2. Kuechly and Michael on the tackle.
It's something using Steven Jackson, and we're seeing him look fresh and spry today. They haven't used him a whole lot. You've got to have some balance. They struggle at the offensive line position. How do you help those guys out? You run the football a little more. They've thrown it more than anybody in the league, and you can say, well, they've played from behind. That's not the case. They've been in almost every game this season. They just have chosen to throw it that much and put this offensive line in a tough position.
18 passes, only 5 rushed today. Living up to that stat. Blitz coming. Ryan gets rid of it to Jackson, who gets belted immediately. That was Drayton Florence, and it's incomplete. Even the quarterback's hit for this Carolina D.
Now, Steven Jackson, he's a big, strong man, but you talk about the hits he's taken in the last 2 weeks at San Fran. He was a punching bag by Dante Whitner. Here comes Drayton Florence. Patrick Willis got him. He's taken some licks in the last couple of weeks. They'll have plenty of rest, though, after this game.
And now 3rd and long as Jason Snelling into the game. It's Roddy White, bottom of your screen. 5-man rush, and Ryan is dropped again. And again, it's Greg Hardy. 5 sacks the last 2 games.
Kevin, you talk so much about the linebackers when you look at this Carolina defense, but don't forget about this guy, Greg Hardy. Now 5 sacks in the last 2 games, working against Lamar Holmes. One-on-one against anyone. This guy is a mismatch. Unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. Lock that man up because he's playing some wonderful football. He can play outside at the edge. He can move inside to the defensive tackle. What a season Greg Hardy is having.
Meanwhile, rookie right tackle Ryan Schrader is injured on the turf for Atlanta. So already for Carolina, 4 sacks here today, and they've got the capability to do that. They've done it to multiple teams this year. They sacked Drew Brees 6 times last week. And you talked about Hardy, man. At 13 sacks, it's career high. He's a free agent after the year. Someone's going to give him an awful lot of money. But, John, consider that 11 sacks last year, and he had a combined 7 his first 2 years. It's obviously clicked on for him.
And you know what which I was very impressed with, he will tell you has helped him more than anything is that they've gotten better in the interior. The push up front, the quarterbacks don't have anywhere to step up anymore. They used to be able to step up. The Panthers weren't good enough at the defensive tackle position. Now they go draft 2 guys, Star Latulele, Twan Edwards, Kawan Short, and there's nowhere to go for quarterbacks. And Greg Hardy, he's getting there.
Let's go down the field, check in with Aaron.
Well, this Carolina defense, every time they've been over here on the sidelines, all they've said is we have got to move faster and faster. They've also been praising each other of their coverage of Tony Gonzalez, a lot of them implying this is not his retirement party today, and it's not going to end on a good note. So can you imagine these guys moving any faster?
It's hard to believe, Aaron. And I'll tell you what, you're just watching the game without even looking at numbers. I mean, the Falcons have dominated the game. Clearly, the defense for Carolina keeping them in it. As now with Schrader getting off gingerly. It'll be a field goal try from Matt Bryant from 42 yards out. Bryant having another good year, his 12th season out of Baylor. 22 of 25. Bosher checks. Bryant is ready and right down the middle one more time. 10-0 Falcons with 10 minutes to go in the first half here from Atlanta. Tony Gonzalez has to like what he sees. Steve Smith not playing today, but trying to get his guys to get it going. Cam Newton needs some offense. 10-0 Atlanta over Carolina. It's a big game for the Panthers today. Yes, they've clinched a playoff spot, but if they win, they'll get a first-round bye and at least the 2 seed. However, if they lose, and the Saints, who are certainly watching anxiously in New Orleans, you can bet if they could beat Tampa later and the Saints win the division, then they get a first-round bye. So a lot can change, and the Falcons have come out all fired up 10-0 on these Panthers here in the second quarter. And again, Carolina will start on their own 20. Well, John, really, Atlanta, after Carolina won the toss and deferred, set the tone immediately.
Well, they got it to Tony Gonzalez on the first play, and that was wise, and they kept feeding it to Tony Gonzalez. Matt Ryan was masterful on the first drive. They're getting after Cam Newton, creating turnovers, sacks, something you haven't seen from this Falcons team all year. They came to play today, whether it be the inspiration of Tony Gonzalez sending him off in the right way or knocking off a division foe as they send them to the playoffs. Atlanta on all cylinders here today.
Cam Newton is only 1 of 7 for 8 yards to start this ball game. There's D'Angelo Williams tripped up. Could have been a big run there, but Stephen Nicholas got his hands in there, and it's only a gain of 2.
Game of inches, and Stephen Nicholas shows that right there, getting D'Angelo Williams by that knee enough to trip him up. And looks like Ben Hartsock is down, the backup tight end for the Carolina Panthers. Very important as a blocker in their run game.
Yeah, these Panthers, they have 1 receiving type tight end. That's Greg Olson. Actually leads the team in receiving, receptions, and yards. But their other tight ends are all blockers. I mean, it is all blocking. That's simple. It's what they do. Hartsock, one of them. That's good news for him. Even though
he doesn't have catches, he's very valuable to what they do. They're a team that's extremely balanced. They run the ball effectively, and he's a big part of that. Another reason why you want that bye, to get healthy.
Well, so far, you know, the Falcons D has been the one making the noise today. They've held Carolina to 33 yards. And John, I think when you look at the Panthers coming off that emotional win over New Orleans last week, this game reminds me an awful lot of that game they played in Miami after beating New England, doesn't it? They started off real slow, and they came back and won that game. They're going to have to come back here. First round bye on the line as Newton guns one to the far side, and Hickson has the grab on second down. It's the first completion to a wideout today for Cam Newton. And now another injury. That's Stanley Mapunga, who's down. Defensive end rookie out of TCU.
Stanley Mapunga going to feel the wrath. I think he's just got the wind knocked out of him. The wrath of this is called a chip block. You want to help out that left tackle. This is a real good job. A little rib shot. I shouldn't be laughing because Mapunga feels it. But D'Angelo Williams, who got worked over by Warlow early pass blocking, says take that to the rookie.
You know, John, here's the thing. I think you look at as they work on Mapunga, hopefully it's just that, just the wind knocked out of him situation. Well, I was trying to get to before. We know the Panthers defense is good. They're first in the league scoring defense, second overall. But they needed to work on their offense to get their offense better. They've been clutch. They've been great pulling games out late. But overall, span of 60 minutes, they have not been great.
One of the great comments, my old defensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin, we had some great defenses, but what he used to tell us, defense gives you a chance to win championships. Offense has to go win it. And in order to have success in the NFL playoffs and to get to Super Bowl, you got to score points. They haven't scored enough this year. Only 19th in the league with 23 points. You got to be playing well come playoff time, and this offense needs to get going. We've seen Cam Newton inaccurate today with the high balls. Those are things that need to get better for them to be a force in the playoffs.
I mean, last week was a perfect example. Newton had 116 passing yards the first 59 minutes of the game against New Orleans. Now, granted, the conditions were awful for a half of that game with the rain, and then he had 65 yards and 3 passes. They've done a good job then, but you want to go to the Super Bowl, you want to see a more spread out attack that can kind of give you a little more than that. And now 3rd and 4 for the Panthers. Newton swings it. Williams, and a first down and more. D'Angelo Williams. The ball comes loose. Ball is loose. Who got it? The Falcons recover after all of that. Desmond Trufant raced down to get it. I think it was Alford who knocked it out. Oh, it's out. It's out.
And that's why you hustle in this league. Robert Alford, the rookie cornerback. D'Angelo Williams looks like he's going the distance. Alford keeps playing, strips it. The other rookie, Trufant, comes up with it. The Falcons clicking on all cylinders in Atlanta.
Today's game is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
What a turn of events. It looked like D'Angelo Williams is going to take it all the way on a short pass, just like he did 2 weeks ago against the Jets. And then he stripped and fumbled, and now Atlanta has the football, giving to Jackson, who gets buried. John, you want to talk about hustle for a team that has 4 wins? You just saw it.
Well, there's 2 things in this. Hustle and then flat-out speed. Watch Robert Alford right there. Now it's just a 100-meter dash. It looks like D'Angelo Williams is off to the races. But that's called youth right there. Young legs. Robert Alford, the rookie, strips it. The other corner, Desmond Trufant, who's hustling just as well, picks up the football. Tremendous hustle by these young players for the Atlanta Falcons. What valuable experience these guys are gaining.
And a wasted play. That could have been huge for Carolina. Still down 10-0. Ryan in trouble, picked, and a touchdown. Holy momentum, Batman. Are you kidding me? Melvin White.
Tell you what, Kevin, you talk about dominant defenses. Well, when you start talking about that, if you really want to be characterized as one, when your team needs you most, you stand up. And that's what this team has started to do. They get it from another rookie. What is it with rookie cornerbacks here today? Melvin White, a free agent rookie. He's going to sit on the route by Harry Douglas. Little miscommunication by Douglas and Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan throws it outside. Melvin White sits there and then crawls into the end zone for the Carolina Panthers.
What a turn of events. Extra point is up and good. You believe that? Just as we're talking about the big play by Atlanta, Melvin White makes a huge play. And now the Panthers right back in it.
Just watch this ISO. Matt Ryan's expecting Harry Douglas to kind of roll to the outside. Instead, Melvin White sits on the route. You're seeing that a lot without the services of Julio Jones. People squatting on these Atlanta receivers saying, you're not running by me. And Melvin White does it to perfection.
That is the 17th interception of the year from Matt Ryan. He threw a pick-6 against Carolina the last time to Drayton Florence. And that is just a monumental play. I mean, Atlanta gets the turnover. They're up 10 here in the second quarter, and then boom. The rookie with his 2nd career pick, first touchdown.
We saw in that season review, when they started winning games, they started taking the football away. 5th in the league coming into today with 29 turnovers. Another mark of great defenses, and that's of concern D'Angelo Williams out. Remember, Jonathan Stewart, the other halfback, already out.
Well, there's been some emotions in this building in the last couple of minutes. Now Melvin White in the final game for Tony Gonzalez trying to emulate, and the turnover.
I don't think he was getting up there anyway.
I mean, that
Stick
was
to the jump shot.
that they gonna lay that one up. Doesn't matter. He made the play that counted. And now all of a sudden that Falcon lead down to 3. I'll get it back. And that hits the goalpost. I tell you, Graham Gano's had a terrific year. He leads the league in touchback percentage. Falcons will start on the 20. So the turnover is playing a big role in this game, and certainly they've played a big role all year.
Absolutely, and little counter to what has happened all year. The Carolina Panthers giving the football away, but they take it away as well, and that leads to that +12 differential. The Atlanta Falcons have not all year. And Greg Olsen, you watch him. This is on D'Angelo Williams' reception. He thinks he's scoring, and then all of a sudden says, "No!" And now Matt Ryan feeling the wrong side of a turnover.
7:57 to go in the first half. It's Jackson. Doesn't have much room to run. Gain of 2. Quentin Michael on the tackle. Carolina D is so active with White's pick. Now 7 players, 7 with at least 2 picks.
It's awesome. They really do it, and that's the mark of this team. Role players all over. I mean, we have the star players, the Kuechly's, the Cam Newtons, the Thomas Davises, the Greg Hardys, but then you have a bunch of really good role players that are embracing their roles and doing it really well.
Blitz coming. Ryan to Roddy White. Another drop. Roddy White's had 3 drops today. He's coming off a 12-catch game in San Francisco.
And I'm telling you, Roddy White's a courageous guy. But watch Quentin Michael. They're so used to seeing the film, and watch the way these guys close. Roddy White feels it. They feel the presence. Roddy White's not scared, but you feel it. And that's one thing the Panthers do so well. They rally to the football, but they've got guys, frankly, scared out of their boots.
Look at the trenches on 3rd and 8. Pressure on Ryan. Steps up, and he's got Gonzalez for a first down. 3rd catch of the day for Gonzalez. And that moves Atlanta up to the 41. 19-yard pickup.
You first talk about pocket presence. Thomas Davis looks like he's going to sack Matt Ryan. Not so fast. He steps up, and Tony Gonzalez, as he's done so well throughout his marvelous career, finds the soft spot in the zone and then does something with it after the catch.
3 catches, 47 yards for Gonzalez, playing in his 277th and final NFL game. Snelling the tailback on 1st and 10, and he'll get it. Up the middle, Jason Snelling with a first down, and finally wrestled to the ground by Luke Kuechly, but into Carolina territory and a gain of 16.
Kevin, I feel like I'm being redundant, but every time we do a Falcons game, when they put 44 in, good things happen. The guy just plays, but with these kind of holes, I think I could run through that hole. Jason Snelling does it, and does it well.
Coaching them up, John.
Right to the end is Tony Gonzalez coaching these guys up.
Snelling again on 1st down. A short pickup here. Greg Hardy first to get there.
You know, we talked to Tony Gonzalez the other day, and kind of had a feeling that Mike Smith would be having him address the team. I talked to Sean Weatherspoon. He did address the team last night in their team meeting. He talked to him about his consistency, about how he developed that consistency. Sean Weatherspoon said there was not a dry eye in the building. It was extremely emotional, and I think that's showing up on the field. These guys playing with great effort. They want so bad to send Tony Gonzalez off with a win.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan to DeMarco to fullback, tackled immediately. Captain Mutterlin was there. You know, Tony Gonzalez, I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And you look at what he's done. First round draft pick all the way back in 1997. And you could look at stats all day long, John. I mean, look at these coming into today. He's second all time in receptions behind Jerry Rice. And I think maybe more than numbers, he changed the entire position.
He did. All these, as Howie Long said in the pregame show, all these power forwards playing tight end. He was the first guy. And my goodness, having played against him, what a tremendous competitor Tony Gonzalez has been.
Pressure on Ryan, in trouble on third down, floats it up and incomplete. Charles Johnson got some heavy pressure. He was in the direction of Darius Johnson. Carolina's had all kinds of pressure today on Ryan with 4 sacks.
They're going to run a little stunt, a TE. Charles Johnson comes in. This is something the Atlanta Falcons offensive line has struggled with throughout the season. When people run games on them, they are not clean in their pickups. Matt Ryan gets rid of the ball so quick it hasn't materialized in a ton of sacks, but a lot of pressure, a lot of unneeded hits on Matt Ryan.
Bosch should have punted away. And Ging will just let it go, and the Falcons save it. Oh, what a play. The second great play by Antone Smith on special teams today. He made a great tackle earlier there. He will start the Panthers inside their own 5. Good special teams by Atlanta. They've got the 3-point lead over the Panthers, looking for that first-round bye. Aerial coverage provided by Nationwide Insurance. At the Georgia Dome today, final game ever for Tony Gonzalez and a huge one for Carolina. The win gets them a first-round playoff bye. The Falcons have been up to the task. In the shadow of their own end zone, it's Williams who gets a yard on first down. Joplo, Bartu, and a game break with Joel Klatt.
Then let's go to Miami. Of course, the Dolphins needing a win. Baltimore loss to get into the playoffs, but Miami not doing their part. Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle, 1-yard TD run. Second career TD. It's all tied up at 7. Back to Atlanta. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
He had a touchdown run against the Panthers. He's a weapon down there, John.
He's becoming the new fridge.
You look at all that. If you can figure all that out, let me know. All you got to do if one of your teams is in it, hope they win and hope for the best. There's so many tiebreaker scenarios for that final spot. Here's Newton on the fake. They get it to Ging for the first time today, and he gets out across the 10. And they finally got it to their playmaker, D'Angelo Williams, last time, and then 59-yard run, and then he fumbled. You almost feel like you got to try and get involved here to get some speed going.
I think he brings that to the Carolina Panthers. And one of the neat things is he's been a guy who was kind of labeled, as they just call a holding penalty on the Carolina Panthers, going backwards. But he was labeled as a returner. And Carolina gave him a chance as a receiver. And he's done extremely well in that role. 34 catches. One more than 3 years at San Francisco. They gave him an opportunity, and he's paid dividends for them as a receiver opposite of Steve Smith.
And John, you said it. There is a flag here. It's on LaFell, I think.
Get those hands outside. That's an easy one to call. You've got to move those feet, keep the hands inside.
Didn't even see that flag. It was on the far side of the field. On second down, near side, it's Hickson who makes the catch and fights for a first down across the 15-yard line. Alford on the coverage.
I like starting this series what Mike Shula has done. Cam Newton's a little erratic today. 2 easy throws. The screen, now a simple curl route to try to put your quarterback in some rhythm. That ball was thrown with authority. He transferred his weight. That's the Cam Newton we're accustomed to seeing. Mike Shula trying to get his quarterback in a good rhythm.
2:51 to go in this first half. Panthers have plenty of time. 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. And Newton's going to keep it and go nowhere that time. Bartu, one of these rookie linebackers. He and Paul Worlow have gotten plenty of reps. There's Worlow, both rookie free agents who are about on the 7th team in OTAs, John.
Tell you what, Bartu, though, you know, Worlow, he played well from the beginning. Bartu showed some flashes, but he's becoming a more consistent football player. Really flashing. These guys are guys that could potentially be quality starters for this Atlanta Falcons team moving forward.
Time for Newton, gets it to Tolbert, who makes the catch at the 20 and bowls forward to the 23. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. It'll also bring up the 2-minute warning. And so the Falcons try to play spoilers today. These Panthers gunning for a first-round playoff bye. Ron Rivera, his team down by 3. Tony Gonzalez's family standing by. There's going to be a ceremony at halftime to honor his great career, and all he cares about today is a win. Falcons up by 3, 1:54 to go in the half. Panthers have it 3rd and 3. Newton with time, going to take off, and Cam Newton has a first down. Will move the chains. Carolina with 3 timeouts here, as he picks up 4 on that run.
That's that added dimension he brings. 3rd down, you get back there, nobody open. Go ahead, move the chains, and that's what he does so well with his legs.
On the read option, and Newton reverses his field, gets through 1 tackle, still on his feet, and Cam Newton out across the 42. Let's see if Carolina calls their first timeout.
What you see with Cam Newton, here's the true zone read. He's going to ride that thing in there long, and then the strength. You forget this guy's 6'5", 245 pounds. Arm tackles will not do it. Hickson doing a great job blocking downfield. Another positive gain for Cam Newton with his legs.
Yeah, 38 yards on the ground. Here's a good block.
Dominic Hickson showed up big for the Carolina Panthers when they needed him most last week. He's a guy with Super Bowl experience, proven invaluable for these Panthers.
Well, the yards have kind of equaled out now. Carolina was doing nothing until the big play to D'Angelo Williams, a 59-yarder, even though he fumbled at the end of it. And they're moving the ball a little bit. 1:18 to go in the half, 2 timeouts. We got a field goal kicker in Graham Gano with a good leg. So in the dome, realistically, you get to the 40, you got a chance with him. But they want more than that. Isaac Worlow, Falcons middle linebacker. It's Newton on first down. And he finds his tight end Greg Olsen, who gets shut down at the 48.
Falcons at this point, with a minute, just over a minute left, are wise to allow those throws in front and then come up and tackle. Take a page out of the Carolina Panthers book. Rally to the football and tackle.
55 seconds left in the half. Newton for nobody. And a 3rd down coming up. Cam Newton, 7 of 13, 97 yards in this first half. But again, 59 of those yards are on that little dump off to D'Angelo Williams. It's not been in sync without Steve Smith today.
They haven't sustained drives, and it's tough to establish rhythm when you aren't out there on the field. It looks like in this drive, he's starting to establish a little bit of that rhythm, starting to feel it. We'll see if he can finish it off.
On 3rd and 4, they've got Ginn lined up top of your screen. Newton off his back foot for Hickson, incomplete, and a flag. Now a couple of flags in the secondary. It was Alford there on the coverage, and they may get him for a penalty.
They're going to get him for holding. He had a handful of jersey that restricted Hickson. Mike Smith trying to say it's uncatchable, but uncatchable because he's got a fistful of jersey. See right there, that right hand, he's pulling the jersey. That's restricting Hickson. Not an uncatchable football. That's why it's uncatchable, because he's got his jersey.
Oh, yeah, the ball's right in frame.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 23. Grab of the jersey while the ball was in the air. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
And as soon as the ball goes in the air, it's PI, and that's what happened. That's a huge call. Carolina's in field goal range now because of it, and they've still got 2 timeouts left.
A really good job by Cam Newton recognizing. Mike Nolan came with the pressure. That was a 0 blitz. Nobody in the middle of the field. That's a great opportunity to hit one of those one-on-ones. He went after it, and it paid off with the penalty.
Steve Smith. Really, he's into this game. Think about the momentum that could change here. Carolina, this has not been their half, but they've got a chance to take the lead going into the break. Newton going to run it again, and room to run, and Newton gets out of bounds He should have a first down, and the clock will stop with 38 seconds to go.
It's such a weapon and so frustrating for a defense. You're rushing, you're playing your heart out. You get a little alley, it doesn't look like much space, but Cam Newton, eyes downfield, nothing there, take off and get a first down and continue to move the chains. Cam Newton, they talk about a dual threat, that's what they talk about.
You have plenty of time to run the ball here, John, too, with 2 timeouts. Newton taking off. It's almost like the passing game isn't working. He hasn't done this a lot this year. He's looked for second and third options, but he needs it today. Going for the end zone here, and it is incomplete. Marvin McNutt, the first-year man from Iowa, hasn't had a catch this year. Imagine that. He was close.
How about McNutt? He's just kind of running a clear-out route. And next thing you know, Cam Newton's throwing it. You see the left foot clearly out. A well-thrown football by Cam Newton, giving McNutt a chance.
John, this is the first game he's even been active this year for McNutt, and he almost made a big play, but he's out, and it's second down.
One thing Cam talked about, we talked with him the other day and said, guys like Olsen, are they going to have to, he said, everyone's going to have to step up. I'm going to throw to everyone. He's a man of his word.
Give to Tolbert. Right up the middle. Tolbert knocking people over. That'll be a timeout for Carolina and a first and goal.
This is why I call him the Swiss Army knife. We see him as a lead fullback, but here we see him as a hammer running through William Moore, a very physical player. There's an old saying, low man wins. Well, when you're 5'9" and you're 245, and I promise you he's not 245, he's more like 260. That's what you do to people, running with authority and running with a purpose. That's how Mike Tolbert is going to Hawaii. Just earned his first Pro Bowl berth, and well-deserved for Mike Tolbert.
And that's the luxury of having 2 timeouts left. They just called one, so they've got 1 left. They still could run it here with 24 seconds left. 17-yard gain for Tolbert. John, they call him the bowling ball. That was a strike. I mean, that was something.
They said they got more nicknames for him. Tubagoo. They've got them all. But I've got one for him, a good football player.
Yeah. Still 1 timeout with 24 seconds to go. Panthers looking to take their first lead. They'll throw it. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown. Ginn. Big-time drive for the Panthers, who take their first lead of the game with 19 seconds left in the half.
Cam Newton makes a young man. A lot of Panther fans here happy with that ball.
Well, Newton used his legs on that drive, but then coming through with the pass, the big run by Tolbert, and the extra point is up, and it is good. And these Panthers, who had a slow start to this game, put together a nice drive to take the lead with 19 seconds left.
Watch Ted Ginn right here. Alford right there. He's working against Ginn. This is called a rub route. Some people call it a pick. Defensive players like to call it a pick. Offensive players prefer to refer to it as a rub route. They ran traffic, did Greg Olsen. Robert Alford got to go over the top. Ted Ginn wide open. Good design by Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. Easy touchdown throw for Cam Newton.
And Carolina's football to start the second half. Remember that. So they get the offense going. The 5th touchdown of the year for Ginn. And for him, it must have been strange, John, because his previous 4 touchdowns were all over 25 yards. So he's not accustomed to scoring from such a short distance.
Those opportunities he and all these receivers are going to have with Steve Smith out. Ted Ginn, it's a little more responsibility.
It's a nice drive by Newton. And I think that drive we showed earlier in the game, his stats this year compared to the last 2 years, how they're pretty similar. And you talk about what's made him different. I think that drive kind of shows it. You know, just making the key plays, the decisions. running when needed. And the Falcons, with 19 seconds left, will have it at the 20. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, it's the final week of the regular season as teams gear up for a chance at Super Bowl 48 later on Fox. The Dolphins, Ravens, and Steelers all in early action, fighting for that last AFC playoff spot. We'll talk all about it on the Visa Halftime.
Very creative with his halftime promos for us this year, John.
Extremely creative.
Falcons will go to the break as is, trailing by 4 after a good first half. A lot of action. Big turnovers, big plays, but the Panthers with the big drive to take the lead, knowing a win gets them a first-round playoff bye. And they've come to life here at the Georgia Dome. Mike Smith, Ron Rivera will talk it over at the break. Panthers up by 4 at halftime. The Visa Halftime Show. Kurt Menefee and the fellas from L.A. starts right now.
And show your
moments ago in the Georgia Dome, honoring Tony Gonzalez for his tremendous career. Arthur Blank, Falcons owner, had a helmet with half Falcons, half Chiefs, and a part NFL signed by Roger Goodell and various others. And they're playing in his final game, playing well today, but it's the Panthers up 14-10 as we get set for the third quarter. And a reminder, you can follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to itunes.com/NFL. Panthers won the toss to start the game and deferred, so after getting that late touchdown to that man Ted Ginn, he will try to return the opening kickoff of this second half. Bosher gets it away, and a good kick, and Ginn can't return it. So here come the Panthers up by 4. John, they did nothing for a good part of the first half offensively. Boy, you saw Cam Newton kind of pick away, a couple passes, couple runs on that last drive.
Well, I thought this game was very representative of their season. They started 1-3 here. They started slow, kind of got punched in the mouth. Then they came back, started playing their football, led by the defense, the Melvin White pick 6 interception. Then the offense got going, and they were clutch when they needed it most. That last drive, Cam Newton established some rhythm via the pass, 5 of 7 on the last drive, and also ran for 29 yards to help the offense get going. We'll see if they can sustain it.
Yeah, that Melvin White play was enormous. They had just gotten a big turnover off the fumble from D'Angelo Williams, and then White picks it off, runs it in for a touchdown, the rookie's first. And that's where we stand, 14-10 Panthers. Here we go, second half. Set up a screen and a lot of room for D'Angelo Williams. And D'Angelo picks up 19 on that first down play.
A little screen pass to D'Angelo Williams that has been so effective for the Carolina Panthers. You're going to see Warlow right there blocked by Travell Wharton, and that leaves space for D'Angelo Williams. And when you give him space, he's too explosive. He makes great things happen.
John, my question is now, Atlanta came out on fire, all the emotion of Tony Gonzalez. How do you duplicate that coming out of the break now? How do you get back to what they were in the first quarter? Here's Tolbert, and it gets belted by Warlow. That'll help. Tolbert with a short gain of 2. Let's go downstairs to Erin Andrews.
Hello, Kevin. I had a chance to speak with Carolina head coach Ron Rivera about Cam Newton and him settling down, and he said Cam was way too hyped up in this first half. He goes, I don't know what was going on with him, but I literally had to pull him over and say, listen, just calm down. He then felt like Carolina's protection got better. Those balls that were thrown weren't as high, and he got it together in that last scoring drive, guys.
Aaron, thanks very much. Yeah, he did. I mean, calm him down. Maybe that's the key, John. You know, it's come off that big win against the Saints and come into this game and the emotion to start. And it grew here, almost intercepted. Well, EA and I almost put the complete jinx on Cam Newton with that one.
Watch Brandon LaFell running an out route in true font. This kid is going to be an exceptional player, but to be a great player, you got to finish the play. That ball's in his hands. Got to catch that, but an outstanding rookie season for Desmond Trufant. They drafted him in the first round, and he's played more than they thought he would, and he's been excellent.
A couple of rookie corners, Trufant and Alford made a big play, forcing a fumble and recovering it early. 3rd and 7 for Carolina. Newton gonna run it, and he gets hit shy of the first down. Looked like a design run. Massaquoi with the big stick. And on this 4th and short, there's no guarantee they punt.
Well, here's Cam Newton. He's about as big as the defensive lineman, but Massaquoi comes in and finishes Cam Newton, picking him up off the ground. And Massaquoi is a guy that they are very excited about. They feel like he's come on at the end of this season. I think we all know Atlanta, where they have to get better is on both the offensive line and defensive line, and Massaquoi may be a part of that contingent moving forward.
I thought maybe Riverboat Ron might try for it on 4th down. He's gone for it 13 times on 4th down this year, but they punt. It's McLean at the 15. And hit down immediately. Carolina all over that coverage. Colin Jones on the tackle. Cam Newton got hit pretty hard. Falcons D does the job. They get it back down 4.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado, strong for all the roads ahead. By the new windows, one experience for everything in your life. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Falcons trying to finish up what's been a lost season on a positive note and play spoiler. Panthers are in the playoffs, but it's a big game because if Carolina wins, they've got at least the number 2 seed and a first-round bye guaranteed. Want that week off, and the Falcons trying to prevent that. They're going to go to the ground on the first play to Jackson, and a gain of 3. And the Panther is injured. Mike Mitchell, starting safety.
And Mike Mitchell, he's been an excellent acquisition for the Carolina Panthers defense. Came from Oakland, where he was primarily a backup safety, and has really come in and solidified the back end, the safety position for the Carolina Panthers. 4 interceptions, 3 sacks on the season.
Mitchell played for Sean McDermott in Philadelphia. The Rams cut him loose. He's been good. Robert Lester, the rookie, number 38, checks in at safety to replace Mitchell. And it's Ryan hitting Jackson, first down, and then some. Steven Jackson out across the 40 to the 41. It's a big gainer. It was Lester on that tackle, but not before Jackson picked up 25.
Well, this is the Steven Jackson that I think the Atlanta Falcons thought they were getting when they went and acquired him from the St. Louis Rams. He's looked like the Steven Jackson we've all seen for years, running the football and catching the football here today.
4 catches now for Jackson, 46 yards, 25 on the ground, 1st and 10. Ryan comes to Douglas, who drops it, and there's a flag late. I wonder if that's a hit on Ryan, who's down on his knees.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 92. Contact to the quarterback's knee area, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's on Dwan Edwards. And Ryan's hurting from that one. He's kind of squatting, trying to get his feeling back.
It's Dwan Edwards working over the center to come in and go low on Matt Ryan. That's been a point of emphasis for the league. Kind of stemmed from that Carson Palmer playoff hit he took against the Pittsburgh Steelers years ago. And Dwan Edwards efforting to get to Matt Ryan, but hits him where he can't be hit.
Meanwhile, Atlanta has a first down into Carolina territory. They give it to Jackson. And he gets maybe a yard. John, you talked about trying to get Jackson going. You know, they gave him a 3-year, $12 million deal. And he's been hurt a little bit, too. The offensive line's been banged up. Here's a stunner to me. He's had only 1 game where he's had over 80 yards. Forget about 100 yards. I mean, it just hasn't worked.
A couple of things. They're bad on the offensive line. They need to get better. To get better as a football team, you need to get better as an offensive line. It's somewhat been masked by Matt Ryan. He gets rid of the ball so quick. Only 35 sacks on the season, but they don't run it enough either. They need to run more frequently to establish that line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 10, Ryan has Douglas, who makes a fingertip grab for a first down. And Harry Douglas is down to the 25. There's a penalty as well back at midfield. So hang on.
Holding, offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
It's Joe Hawley working against Dwan Edwards again, and you talk about the strength. Dwan Edwards going to come up against Joe Hawley. You see him right there in the middle, and there that hand gets extended, and the strength up the middle that Carolina has found in the 2 rookies, and Dwan Edwards, a free agent, who came from Buffalo, really has solidified this defense.
Cool look into the trenches on a 2nd and 19, and Ryan fires for Douglas, makes the catch, and he's inside the 40-yard line before he goes out of bounds. Gain of 11. Oh, they missed that guy. Julio Jones talking to Terry Ribisky, the wide receivers coach, with the headset on. He was on pace for maybe a record-breaking year. I know it was only 5 games. You take away his vertical threat, and it changed quite a bit for this Falcons offense. 3rd down and 8. That's Drew Davis in motion, number 19. Ryan under pressure, going deep for Roddy White. Touchdown! And Atlanta back on top.
Two things here for the Atlanta Falcons. Roddy White is back. He's healthy, and boy, you can tell one-on-one against Quentin Michael, the safety, and that's a mismatch. Matt Ryan with a perfect throw, but the protection up front, they gave Matt Ryan the time to find his favorite wide receiver. Roddy White was excellent as well, and Roddy White brings it in for the big touchdown.
He had a 39-yard touchdown last week on a very similar route. A 39-yard touchdown today. And he has really had a strong December. His 3rd touchdown of the year. Falcons back in front with the extra point pending from Bryant. And it's up and good. Maybe a little tribute to Tony Gonzalez. Couldn't get it to go, but the touchdown went, and Atlanta in front of Carolina.
Talked about that protection. Here's the adjustment. It takes 2 to block Greg Hardy. It takes Tony Gonzalez and Jason Snelling. That gives Matt Ryan the time. You give Matt Ryan time, he'll slice the defense apart. This time he goes over the top to Roddy White.
Bosher's kicked again, and he will come on out. Ted Ginn across the 20 and slices his way to the 24-yard line. These Falcons are not making it easy on the Panthers. They're trying to clinch a first-round bye. It's Atlanta up by 3 in the 3rd.
This game is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
We take you back to week 9. This was in Green Bay. Shea McClellan fell on Aaron Rodgers and broke his collarbone. He has been out ever since until today, where it's all on the line for the NFC North. Rodgers back. Packers and Bears in Chicago. Winner goes to the playoffs. That's coming up next on Fox. And you see Rodgers has done well against the Bears. Jay Cutler has done anything but against Green Bay. So a huge game coming up on Fox. Here in Atlanta, the Falcons playing tough today, trying to play spoiler. Carolina's in the playoffs, but a win gets them a first-round bye, and they're losing by 3 here in the 3rd. It's Tolbert on the carry, and nowhere to run. Stephen Nicholas and Jonathan Massaquoi strung that play out.
And they did so well. And I've been very impressed with this Atlanta Falcons defense. Not something I could say a whole lot this year. They've been so plagued with injuries to stars like Troy Bierman before the season, Sean Witherspoon throughout the season. But they're playing today and playing well.
That they certainly have. Carolina had the one nice drive before the half. Other than that, they got the defensive touchdown from White. Draw and across the 30. And up to the 32. It'll be a 3rd down and short as Tolbert got the carry. Here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Along with John Lynch and Aaron Andrews, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And John, you know, I was curious to see how Atlanta would come out after that half, after that break, the momentum. But that play got them back in it. And the Carolina team has been, other than the one drive, kind of shaky all day offensively.
But they've come out, they've got themselves in a good 3rd and 2 position. This is what they have done well all year. Very efficient 3rd down team because they win on 1st and 2nd down.
Play clock at 1. They get it off, and they're going to throw it. And Newton's got a year. He's going to try and tuck it in and on, and he breaks a tackle and gets the 1st down. And maybe a late hit. There it comes. Extra 15 against Cam Newton. It was Worlow. They're going to get him on the flag, but Newton broke the tackle of Bartu to get the 1st. Bartu's now hurt.
Personal foul. Defense, number 55. Unnecessary roughness. Out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Well, just an element you can't account for. So difficult. Watch Newton. He fakes like he's going up. He draws this penalty, and then he also does a little floppage. And the officials all over it. Warlow, I can't help you out there, buddy. Good sell by Cam Newton.
The Academy Award starring Cam Newton. Hey, he got the job done, and it got him 15 yards. And Cam has used his legs today when he's needed it. 9 carries for him, 64 yards. Look, he's always been a running quarterback. He's dialed back on that this year, but he's got 5 first downs with his legs. Fake to Tolbert. And coming back the other way, Olsen is wide open. And then Stephen Nicholas came back to make a solid tackle at the 35, but a gain of 8.5 on 1st down.
You know, as I study this Carolina team and watch them play, I really have a lot of respect for the way that Mike Shula is running this offense. Rob Chudzinski leaves to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Mike Shula, extremely creative, some really innovative design in this offensive scheme for the Carolina Panthers.
Set it up to Tolbert on the screen, and Tolbert breaks a tackle fighting, and he's still shy of a 1st down. Now 3rd and 1. Cam Newton's got 5 first downs with his legs today. And John, consider this: 64 yards rushing. His high game this year is only 68, so he's really using it maybe more today than ever this year.
Well, he knows how important this game is. He knows that during the playoffs, you're going to have to use those legs. They're a weapon. He's been training all year to stay in the pocket, but now all bets are off. Whatever you have to do, whatever it takes to win.
Panthers 3rd in the league on 3rd and 1 at 74% conversion rate. They sneak it, and Newton's got it by a long shot. Good push behind Ryan Khalil and company, and that'll move the sticks.
He points to the 1st down on his back. But the presence of Cam Newton. He's 6'5", 250 pounds. Go right behind your center, Ryan Khalil, your best offensive lineman. He gets 3 or 4 yards there.
Styling while his back. Here in that one. 1st and 10 at the 32.
Hey, yellow, even Luke.
D'Angelo Williams right up the gut. D'Angelo Williams inside the 10. Alford made the touchdown-saving tackle, but Williams with the burst and a gain of 24.
I think one thing you have to be impressed with Cam Newton, doing the work at the line of scrimmage. He audibles to this call. He sees something in the defense, a great block by Brockle. And D'Angelo Williams, as I said earlier, you give him a little bit of space, he's going to do some damage. Really nice execution by the Carolina Panthers offense.
1st and goal from the 8. It's Williams into a pile. You get maybe a yard.
This 10 and in is where Mike Shula and the Carolina Panthers love to run Cam Newton. We've seen all the touchdowns that he's had in his 3 years in the league. 6 touchdowns this season rushing the football. A lot of it happens right about here. They use him essentially as a running back and let him run it in the end zone.
Showed you the numbers on Williams. Also had the fumble after the big 59-yard catch and run. Play clock at 3. Going to throw it. No one's open. Newton just going to throw it away.
try to take advantage of that mobility, give him option, okay? You get back, is there anybody open? Good coverage by Stephen Nicholas, by Alford outside. Cam makes the wise decision as they string him out to throw it out of bounds. And now we face 3rd and goal.
Got some Panthers fans in attendance today, about a 4-hour drive from downtown Atlanta. Cam's heated up since the early start. All kinds of time. Firing, bullet, end zone, and he's got it. Touchdown, Greg Olsen. Sixth touchdown of the year for Greg Olsen, and the Panthers back in front.
You talk about the maturity of Cam Newton. Look at the composure. Nothing open. Buy time. Keep your feet active. Keep your eyes downfield. Greg Olsen finds the soft spot, and he delivers a strike. You can't play the quarterback position any better and give him a big assist to that offensive line all the time in the world for Cam Newton. He delivers it to Greg Olsen for the go-ahead touchdown.
Last 3 scores have all been lead-changing. He's pretty fired up. Cam gave him a nice little present. Extra point is up, and it's good. And so the Panthers respond from the Roddy White touchdown, and Newton puts together another good drive. 4:20 to go in the 3rd. He's fired up. His Panthers up 4. That was a heck of a drive by Cam Newton and the Panthers, John. I mean, 10 plays, 76 yards, and he fired an absolute bullet to Greg Olsen, who caught his 6th touchdown of the year. Panthers, that drive over 5 minutes long, 30 of them on the year, which leads the league. It's Jerry Richardson, the owner of this Panthers team, founder of this Panthers team. He's looking at the playbook for the 4th quarter. And he sees his team trying to get a 1st-round bye and a guaranteed home playoff game. As it stands right now with 4:20 to go in the 3rd quarter, Panthers have that number 2 seed, but plenty more football to play from Atlanta. You know, Cam Newton started this game off with every throw high. You heard Aaron Andrews talking about Ron Rivera trying to settle him down. He's settled down since, that's for sure.
Well, he settled down, but he got his feet moving. That's where he gets in trouble. His feet aren't active. And in the 2nd half, he started getting a rhythm. He got his feet going. He started using his legs, and you see the numbers. Starts off 1 for 5. Since then, 11 to 17. Playing some big-time football.
And 2 out of his last drives, touchdown drives, and now a sack. It's Charles Johnson, the 5th of the game for these Panthers.
That's what this defense does. They just keep coming at you. We've seen Greg Hardy all day, so now you single Charles Johnson. Not so fast. He throws Ryan Schrader, the rookie free agent, out of the way and gets to and finishes Matt Ryan. They come at you from every angle, and that is what makes this Carolina defense so imposing.
That's his 10th sack of the year, and he's playing tough. 5 sacks today. He sprained his knee against the Patriots. Went back in that game. Missed a couple games. Still probably isn't right, but he's had another good year. Not much running room at all for Jackson. Thomas Davis on the tackle. We've got ourselves a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, Kevin, let's go to Cincinnati, where Joe Flacco has led the Ravens right down the field. Back of the end zone, Marlon Brown, 8-yard touchdown. They would go for 2. Ray Rice to the left side. He finds the end zone to tie the ball game up. Meanwhile, Miami down by 7 to New York, so Baltimore would make the playoffs with a win. Lots going on. Back to Atlanta. Kevin, John,
interesting to say the least. It's a 3rd and 11 for the Falcons here. Four-man rush. Ryan in trouble, and down he goes. Number 6 of the day, and the 3rd for Greg Hardy.
That would be 6 sacks in the last 2 weeks. 3 versus the New Orleans Saints, 3 here today. Greg Hardy standing up, working against Tony Gonzalez. They try to double him. They might want to think about 3 because here comes Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy needs to turn around and thank the guys in the back end and his linebackers because an excellent job of coverage downfield made Matt Ryan hold the football. And when you hold the football against this defensive front, you're going to be sacked.
And that's a defense after that big touchdown drive holding the Falcons to 3 and out. Here's Ginn, and Ginn eludes the first tackle. And he takes it across the 40 to the 41, so good field position. As Greg Hardy has a career-high 14 sacks.
Well, and here are a couple, all 3 of those 14. Him working against Tony Gonzalez, not a good idea in Atlanta. Let's try Lamar Holmes. Get out of the way. And then finally, you bring a couple of them at Greg Hardy. He runs right through the double and finishes Matt Ryan yet again.
You know, Greg Hardy predicted earlier this year that he'd get 50 sacks. I mean, he might get there the way this game is going, John.
He is a special football player. Plays the end in the nickel sub. He'll move inside at times. Extremely versatile. And really has become a finisher.
A chance for Carolina to build onto their lead here. 21-17, 2:19 to go in the third. Newton going to take off again. That pocket closed quickly. He still has himself a nice gain. He's going to pick up a little over 4 yards on that carry. Kent said something interesting to us. You know, talking to him, and I asked him, you know, with your D being so great, does it change how you play the game, John? And he said, I guess the opposite answer that I was kind of expecting. He said it actually puts pressure on us because we want to score and kind of be on that level.
He said the one thing, though, that it does make you cognizant is just protect the football. We're so good on the other side. Protect the football, and it's something they've done excellent all year long until today. Second in the NFL in giveaways.
Here's Williams, and he is dragged down by Werlow. No gain.
You know, we showed Jerry Richardson, the owner. And one thing you really applaud him. There was a lot of noise around Charlotte this offseason, Kevin, with the talent early this season when they start 1-3. And we live in such an instant gratification world these days. A lot of people calling for the job. He stuck with them, as did Dave Gettleman, the general manager. They stuck with Ron Rivera, and the results have been fantastic for Carolina.
They've won 10 of their last 11, and a win today gets them a first-round playoff bye. Blitz coming on 3rd down. Newton firing for Olsen, little high, incomplete. Newton had him there, and he knows it. And so Brad Nortman will come on to punt it away one more time. Nortman had 2 punts inside the 5 against New Orleans last week. And this one is inside the 10. Fair caught by McClain. American Idol looking for the next superstar. Join Jennifer Lopez, Keith Urban, Harry Connick Jr. along with Ryan Seacrest. They search for the best new talent. American Idol's most exciting season yet begins Wednesday, January 15th on Fox. So many games with playoff implications today, and everybody fighting for that final spot in the AFC. All kinds of tiebreakers. Baltimore tied with Cincy. Dolphins, well, they can't get in with at least a win. Pittsburgh needs all kinds of help, but they need to win. They're doing that. San Diego just watching. If Miami and Baltimore lose, all San Diego has to do is beat the Chiefs, and they are in the playoffs, and they would be tough.
As the Denver Broncos learned a couple weeks ago, I'm not so sure anyone wants to see those Chargers get in the playoffs.
And the Chiefs, looks like they're going to rest a lot of their starters today. They've got nothing to play for in that game. And a big carry and a first down to Snelling for Atlanta, going on the ground for 10. And that should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Falcons do not have to run another play. Been a good game from the Georgia Dome Cam Newton returning to play in his hometown, trying to get his team a first-round bye in a home playoff game. We played 3 from Atlanta. It's the Panthers 21, the Falcons 17. We head to the 4th from Atlanta. 21-17 Panthers, who with a win would get a first-round bye and at least one home game in the playoffs. If they get some help, maybe even home field, they certainly control getting a bye. Tonight at 11, head over to America's new 24-hour sports network, Fox Sports 1. Go see Jay and Dan on FS Live, the sports news and highlight show everyone's talking about. It's FS Live tonight at 11 on America's new 24-hour sports network, Fox Sports 1. Here are the Falcons, down 4. Their football, and they're going to give to Snelling on the ground, who works his way to the 26. So this #1 overall defense scoring-wise by the Panthers is led by that man, Sean McDermott, who is, had the real hard task of replacing Jim Johnson, the legendary defensive coordinator for the Eagles, and now in his 3rd year has really done a good job.
Yeah, one of the things that I loved hearing from Ron Rivera, he said, look, I've got 2 coordinators that have been knocked down in their career. They've been fired as coordinators. Ron Rivera was fired as a coordinator. He feels like that really makes you re-examine everything you do and how you do it. And Sean McDermott, he's re-examined well because he's got his defense playing terrific football.
Here to Harry Douglas, who's got a first down. And keep in mind, John, a couple things in this 4th quarter. First of all, Falcons have 6 losses by a touchdown or less. And then when Carolina started the year, one of the things that bit them, Luke Kuechly said the key to today's game, finish.
They've learned how to finish as a football team. Most football games, you talk to Atlanta, they come down to 4 to 6 plays throughout the course of a game. Last year, Carolina didn't make them. Atlanta did. This year, vice versa. They've flipped the script, and it served Carolina well. They've learned how to finish, how to put people away.
On first down, pressure up the middle, and it's tipped, intended for Jackson as Ryan on his back again. He has been besieged by this pass rush today.
And guess who? Greg Hardy coming right up the middle. Just sit back and watch. This is what Matt Ryan's looking at. If you don't get rid of the ball right now, here comes Greg Hardy. He's searching for number 4. Already has 3 sacks. Matt Ryan doing the best just to get rid of that football.
Looked like K'Wan Short is the guy that got in there and hit Ryan to force that incompletion. 15 hits, 16 hurries, 6 sacks. Pressure again. Ryan unloads, and it's incomplete. A little behind Harry Douglas. And Hardy again with the pressure. It's been constant.
Well, you talk about his versatility. We've seen him outside wreaking havoc. Now watch him inside. He's going to work against Blaylock. He spins out of there, stays alive. Like all the great pass rushers, it's that motor. They stay alive, and then they have that instinct to be able to get to a quarterback and finish him. And Greg Hardy, my, has he done that this season.
Antone Smith, the special teams maybe, number 35 in the game at bat. Ryan firing. He's got a first down. Roddy White will move the chains.
It's a thing you love about Matt Ryan, the toughness. His coach calls him a tough Irishman. He's been hit all day, but he hangs in the pocket and finds that man, Roddy White, who continues his stellar play for the Atlanta Falcons.
Steven Jackson in the backfield. They'll pitch it to him, and he's got nowhere to go. Great pursuits. Thomas Davis was there in the backfield. Kuechly finished it up.
Well, this is just, you want to watch perfect linebacker play. Watch this guy. Don't try to run sideways because you can't do it versus this defense. Luke Kuechly, so explosive. Steve Smith, the wide receiver, talking to him before the game, he said, you know who he is? He's Tim Duncan. He's the big fundamental. Everything he does so well. And a great analogy by Steve Smith. What a football player is Luke Kuechly.
Does that mean he's got a good bank shot too, John? Ryan coming near side to Douglas, and he's got another Falcon first down. Matt Ryan, he's been under pressure all day, but he's had a really good game. 20 of 29, 219 for Ryan. John, in some ways, this is the 3rd straight year he's had over 4,000 yards. Only Breeze has done that Maybe this year's been more impressive, just what he's dealing with here.
Yeah, he had the rough stretch in the middle of the game where he admitted to us he tried to do too much. But fix this team around him, particularly up front, and you'll be right back in it next year. You've got a piece that everyone's looking for, a top-flight quarterback.
And some motion. Might have been on Toy Lolo as a backup tight end. And now the initial signal, no, Carolina jumped.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Wes Horton.
Horton right at the edge. He clearly gets off, and then the Toy Lolo reacts to his movement in the neutral zone.
So a 1st and 5. Steven Jackson looking right at you in the backfield. He'll get it. Jackson rumbling for a first down, and the Falcons putting together a nice drive down by 4. They'll move the chains one more time with Jackson at a gain of 7.
And you like the patience, the persistence of sticking with the run game. They're heavily slanted towards the pass as always. But Dirk Cutter slipping in enough runs, just the frequency. It takes some pressure off your offensive line. They're having some effectiveness running it for over 4 yards per carry today.
Do that again to Jackson. He'll stumble forward for a gain of 3. Joel Klatt has our latest game break.
Kevin, coming up next, most of you will see Aaron Rodgers back on the field in the 188th meeting between the Bears and the Packers. Winner go home for the NFC North Division title. It's America's Game of the Week, and it's on Fox next. Back to Atlanta. Kevin, John, and Aaron.
All right, Joel, thanks. Big one coming up from Chicago. 11th play of this drive for the Falcons, trailing by 4. Good fake, and Ryan's got time. Right, and it's knocked away. Big hit over the middle by Mike Mitchell.
Well, Mike Mitchell's really been a pleasant surprise for this team. You're going to see Roddy White going over the middle of the field, and this is what you have to do if you're a safety. You come up and you let people know, you come in my territory, it's not going to be pretty. He does it within the rules, stays down low, lowers the target, and then finishes Roddy White and gets the football out.
And now a 3rd down and 9. Blitz coming. It's picked up. It's White again. He's got the catch, but I think he's going to be shy of a first. The spot is critical here. And that certainly is going to be a little less than a yard shy. And John, your team with 4 wins here. Are you going for it?
Go for it. Take a page out of Riverboat Ron's playbook and go for it.
Falcons are only 5 of 13 on 4th down this year. But they are going to go down by 4. Ryan wants to play to get in there and get in there fast. They got Steven Jackson in the game at back. Give to Jackson. He's got the first down. He made a nice cut to get inside the 20 and gain 5, and the drive continues.
Well, that's good running by Steven Jackson. Gets downhill but sees the hole, cuts back, gets one-on-one with a cornerback. And I like the call by Mike Smith, and he loves the execution by his offense.
This is the 14th play of this drive for Atlanta. Pressure again on Ryan, and down he goes again. Hardy was there one more time. That's his 4th of the game, and he now ties Kevin Green for the most sacks in Panthers in a single season.
Well, they moved this guy all over the field. This time again at the tackle. Now he's at the right side of this Falcons offensive line, and he's just relentless. He continues to rush, get to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan says, would you stay off me? Could you guys help out a little up front? But you can't one-on-one block Greg Hardy, and they do such an effective job of moving him all over so you can't zero in and double him.
7 sacks by Carolina, 4 of them for Greg Hardy, who's now got 15 on the year. A second and long. Pressure right in the face. Screen to Snelling. And he gets back across the original line of scrimmage. Thomas Davis on the tackle and a big third down next.
And what a story Thomas Davis is, Kevin. This guy's coming off 3 ACL injuries. Was the first guy in football known to have come off to 3 ACL injuries to the same knee, and you would never know it by watching the film. We talk so much about Luke Kuechly, about Greg Hardy. This guy having a Pro Bowl year as well. Fantastic football player, and what a story. The perseverance.
He's actually better now than he was. 3rd and 10. 4-man rush in and out of the hands of White. That's the 4th one he's dropped today. And now you got to kick the field goal.
No, I'm telling you, and I'm not letting Roddy White off the hook. Those are balls he has to catch, but he feels this defense. When you're a defense that has put physical play on film, players take notice. And Roddy White, he's looking for the tackler instead of looking at the football. Whit Michael letting him know he's there.
You got to make that catch after that drive. They've had it the whole 4th quarter. So now it's a 37-yard try for Matt Bryant to get the Falcons within 1. Matt Bosher on the hole, which is true, and the kick perfect. Falcons creep within 1, but this Panthers defense holds thanks to a drop. We've got 7:10 to play. Panthers playing for a first-round bye, up 1.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by T-Mobile.
Falcons put together a 17-play drive, and Mike Smith talking to Roddy White with a little encouragement because he dropped a ball that would have at least extended the drive.
And Greg Hardy, when you rush that hard, you talk about the long drive, but when you play that hard, that guy leaves everything on the field. Complete effort on every play.
Oh, he's only got 7 sacks the last 2 games, John. I don't know what effort you're talking about. And now 15 to tie Kevin Green for the Panthers all-time single season record. And so the Panthers will start on their own 20 up 1. Cam Newton looking to lead his Panthers to a first-round bye in the playoffs. What's at stake here with 7:10 to go in Atlanta? If the Panthers win, they clinch a first-round bye and a home game in the playoffs. If not, New Orleans can defeat Tampa to take the division and get that first-round bye. So right now, it's all on Carolina. Certainly attention being paid on Bourbon Street to this one with the Panthers up 1. Across his body, he finds Olsen. And Greg Olsen has himself a 5-yard gain on first down. Worlow with the tackle. He's played a solid game on D. That's Cam's high running game of the year. And he's been effective rushing for first downs. There's 6 of them. But he's used it at the opportune time. Here's 2nd and 5. And they're going to fake the reverse, that is, excuse me, and get a short gain to Tolbert. Maybe the best defensive game the Falcons have played all year.
They've been solid. They really have been. And you know, the only failing is stopping Cam Newton running the football. But when he really decides that he wants to, I don't know if there's many people that can stop him. And these are the situations where he presents the biggest challenge. These 3rd and 4s, you cover everybody up, but then you got to worry about Cam Newton running, and you can't always account for that.
3rd down and 3.
Got the one-on-ones outside, showing the blitz look.
Picked up. Newton comes near side. What a catch made by Greg Olsen for a first down.
And there's that one-on-one. Greg Olsen fights. He's covered well by Deku, but Cam Newton trusts in his tight end. And what a great job by Olsen, stretching those arms to bring that football in from Cam Newton.
Pride of Wayne Hills High School in New Jersey has been big all year. Came into this game leading the team in receptions and receiving. Certainly the clock a factor with 5:04 to go. The Panthers nursing a 1-point lead. It's Tolbert. And that's no gain. Malachi Goodman was there first. See Williams on the bench. But they do rotate Tolbert and Williams quite a bit. Still hoping this Panthers team to get Jonathan Stewart back for the playoffs. He's been banged up all year, John. Ankle injury to start the year. Hurt his knee the first game against New Orleans a few weeks ago and hasn't been back since.
There he is, and I think they can make do without him. But to me, they've always been a different football team when he's healthy. He brings the combination of D'Angelo Williams and Tolbert all in one. He's got that power. He's also has the speed.
2nd and 10 over the middle. Tipped! Nearly intercepted. That looked like a replay of the earlier pick by William Moore. With Trufant, pretty good coverage on Brandon LaFell.
Well, here's why you think Desmond Trufant is going to be such a good player, because you see he's always around the football. He's got that closing speed that the really good corners in this league have. You watch Trufant. Runs in the family. Closing on the football, breaking up. Desmond Trufant has a very bright future in front of him.
Arthur Blank, the Falcons owner, looks on, and a big 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. They get it to Tolbert, and Moore slows him down, and the help comes. And the Falcons are way short of a first down. Bartu came to clean it up, and Carolina will punt it away with 3:56 to go.
And I think this is something that the Carolina Panthers, they're going to have to change their ways a little. Do they have an excellent defense? Absolutely. But on 3rd down in the playoffs, 3rd down and 10, you better trust your quarterback to go for those key first downs. That's a little too conservative for me. It served them well throughout the season. It's a different deal in the playoffs. You got to play to win, and you got to play all out. You got to trust your quarterback.
Dortmund had a couple of huge punts late against the Saints and gets off a rocket. Look at this thing. Bounces inside the 5, and a Falcon bounce into the end zone. And so with 3:21 to go, Matt Ryan trying to play spoiler here. His Falcons down by 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Order online now from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Aerial coverage provided today by Nationwide Insurance as we take you into the huddle of the Atlanta Falcons. They trail Carolina 21-20, 3:21 to go. Each team with 3 timeouts. Matt Ryan's been under duress all day. Greg Hardy with 4 sacks. And now they set up the screen game to Jackson, who sprints ahead across the 25, out to the 27. John, this Carolina defense has been great, but time to make your money.
Absolutely. And you know, Kevin, when you become a dominant defense, I played on one. You live for these situations right here. You say, go ahead, punt it. We want to shut this team down. You want to be special, go ahead and stop people in these situations.
Blitz coming. Ryan in trouble. Down he goes. Mike Mitchell for sack number 8.
Well, Ron Rivera has called his defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott, intelligently aggressive. They came from the Jim Johnson school of thought that was, when in doubt, blitz. They don't blitz that much here in Carolina because they don't have to, but when they do, it typically pays dividends. Great call by Sean McDermott.
On 3rd and 11, pressure again, and sack number 9! Charles Johnson.
Here's what happens. You've got Hardy playing so well, you're trying to double him. Well, Charles Johnson, he says, thank you very much, drives the right tackle right back into Matt Ryan. And this defense, they are starting to become special.
Wow, I mean, that's impressive. What a series. And now we hit the 2-minute warning in Atlanta. Carolina will get the ball back with a chance to salt away the number 2 seed next. Those of you who just saw the Vikings take care of the Lions, what a series Carolina just had defensively. 2 sacks. They've got 9 sacks of Matt Ryan today in a 1-point lead. 2 minutes to go. They'll get the ball back and a win gets them a first-round playoff bye.
I would call this a statement game for this defense. They're letting everybody know we're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs because we're going to wreak havoc on any offense we face. It starts with that guy right there, Greg Hardy, Luke Kuechly, Charles Johnson. They come from everywhere. Thomas Davis. This group is a special group.
Well, Falcons do have 3 timeouts left, so they can get it back if the defense can hold. But now it's on Cam Newton to salt it away. Boster's punt. Ginn at the 32 makes the first man miss. And Ginn with a good return. With 1:47 to go, the Panthers trying to get that first-round playoff bye when we come back. Here we go. Carolina trying to wrap it up. They can do it with a first down. And on the first play, a loss to Williams. And the Falcons have 3 timeouts left. They'll call the first one with 1:41 to go. And one more time, John, the significance. Panthers win. They've got the first-round playoff bye. If not, the Saints can win and leapfrog them to get that number 2 seed. Timeout on the field. We'll be right back to Atlanta after this. Panthers trying to wrap up the NFC South and at least the number 2 seed, but a guaranteed home field bye. They've got 1:41 to get to that point. How about the job of Ron Rivera after a 1-3 start?
I'm telling you, I think he's a legitimate Coach of the Year candidate. Was under so much duress throughout the offseason. Then they start 1-3. He sticks to what he believes in, to what this team believes in, keeps the team together, and they make this kind of run. Fabulous coaching job by Ron Rivera.
Panthers playing without Steve Smith today. Newton's been very good using his legs at key times, and 9 sacks ties the NFL record for this year. The Chiefs had 9 sacks against Oakland. 2 timeouts left for Atlanta, so they can get the ball back if they stop it. It's Williams. And Worlow got there first, got some help. Trufant came up to finish it up. Timeout Atlanta. Take you back late third quarter to this.
Cam Newton moving around in the pocket, buying time, and then delivering the fastball to Greg Olsen for the touchdown and the go-ahead touchdown for the Carolina Panthers.
Now, with the Falcons with 1 timeout, are you just content to rely on this terrific defense and run it?
Well, I think here, now it's your 4-minute offense, and I think now you got to trust that defense. Last time I didn't like it. This time I would not. You make them burn that last timeout, and the way your team is rushing that man right there, you give them one more shot to close the door.
Falcons trying to stay alive. It's a 3rd and 9. To Newton run. And he is not going to get there. Stays in bounds. It'll force Atlanta to call their final timeouts. Tell you one thing, there's plenty of time left. 1:28. They only need a field goal, John. And yeah, they're coming off a series that was dominant, but Matt Ryan did it to them here at this place last year. This game's not over.
And Matt Bryant, their field goal kicker, has serious range as well. So this game is far from done. And you got to give the Atlanta Falcons and Mike Smith a ton of credit. They go up against the San Francisco 49ers. Give them all they can handle. Now they're taking Carolina right to the wire.
That they are. There's Bryant, who's got a big leg. He was hitting him from 56 yards. First, it'll be Nortman, the punter, who's been very good in Gonzalez's final NFL game. Can he have an impact with 1.5 minutes left? We'll see. Punt is off. Fair catch, McLean. And Matt Ryan will take over on the 12. Maybe the last drive for Tony Gonzalez in the NFL. This was his first catch. Started a great 17-year career. This was his last catch today. 3 catches, 47 yards, a ceremony at the half. Will there be the storybook ending?
So many times he's been heartbroken, so close to the playoffs. This year, the playoffs aren't a possibility but boy, would it be nice for Tony Gonzalez to play a factor in walking out with one last win.
No timeouts. Realistically, Atlanta's got to get to the Carolina 40 for a chance at a field goal. Ryan will get it to Roddy White. And White tackled by Kuechly at the 20.
Those aren't boos. That's the Carolina presence. The Carolina fans saying, Luke, for Luke Kuechly, that speed is so impressive.
Under a minute left. Blitz coming again. Ryan gets it off to Douglas. He's out to the 26. Stop the clock with 55 seconds left. Greg Hardy with 4 sacks with this relentless Carolina pass rush. 9 total sacks of Matt Ryan today.
And these situations right here, no more timeouts. A sack would be the nail in the coffin for the Carolina Panthers.
4-man rush, quick hit to Roddy White, who falls forward to the 34. 48 seconds and counting. Those of us just joining us, it's been a back-and-forth game. Carolina with a win would get at least the number 2 seed in the first-round playoff bye. Ryan near-sided Douglas again, and Douglas out of bounds at the 43. And another 20 yards in 35 seconds, and Atlanta could steal this game here.
And if you're Captain Munnerlyn covering Roddy White right there, you got to understand they're going for the sidelines. Play outside leverage, keep them in the middle of the field. Instead, they allow the completion, then allow them to get out of bounds.
That won a game in Tampa, which was ridiculous. And here's the thing, this Carolina defense, even though they've been amazing, they've been on the field a lot this 4th quarter.
Here comes the pressure. Ryan sees it.
Miscommunication. Snelling will get on it, but the clock is ticking. They've got to get up. There's no timeouts. They've got to hurry. That's a killer. Matt Ryan was not ready for the snap. He's thinking about spiking with 20 seconds to go, and that changes everything. A loss of 16, and now a flag, too, on the other side of the field.
Illegal shift inside 1 minute, which turns into, by rule, false start offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down. This penalty, since Atlanta has no timeouts remaining, also includes a 10-second run-up. Please reset the game clock to 9 seconds, and the game clock will start. Have them ready for play.
You see Matt Ryan, he saw the same thing I saw, the pressure that was coming from the Carolina Panthers, and Joe Hawley snaps the football when he's not waiting, when he is not ready.
Falcons were on the 43 with 35 seconds left. And a real chance to steal one. And now Ryan with the last-ditch effort, and now more flags. Oh, Carolina called the timeout. No
Please
play.
reset the game clock to 9 seconds prior to the snap. Timeout, Carolina.
You know, Kevin, really interesting, too. You see noise as a factor, and you can say, wait, the Falcons are at home. Carolina's not that far away. These Carolina fans, they are here, and they are here in droves. And it was really loud prior to that last play, giving assist to the Carolina fans, taking their show on the road as well.
Hey, you think they're a little fired up? I mean, that place was rocking last week in the win over New Orleans, and this would get them a home playoff game in 2 weeks in downtown Charlotte. They're close to probably dancing in the streets there right now, but still 9 seconds to go to make it official. One last chance for Ryan, and he gets one last catch to Tony Gonzalez. His 4th catch of the day at the 31.
You know one thing, he wasn't going to drop it. He never does.
5 seconds, John. I don't know what kind of play you have here, but it's...
There are not many options. You can't throw it that far to get it down there. You got to try the old hook and lateral. Just keep pitching it and try to make something happen.
Seconds ago, Ryan in trouble, just going to throw it deep, and it's going to be incomplete, and that will do it. The Carolina Panthers with the victory as they hold on here in Atlanta. They win the NFC South, a franchise record with their 12th win, and they've clinched a first-round bye. What a year for Ron Rivera.
What a year for this team under his leadership. You start 1-3. Now you have that bye. You're one game away from the NFC Championship game. Carolina Panthers deserve it. They've played excellent football all season long, led by a dominant defense that really is establishing themselves in this league.
Credit to the Falcons. They played well the football game, but came up a point short. Now imagine the emotions. Tony Gonzalez walking off the field in uniform for the last time. Good stuff. Everyone talking to Tony Gonzalez, but the story is the Panthers. The Pepsi Game Break Show is coming up right now. That'll do it from Atlanta. The Panthers get a first-round bye.